Chris Mannix here on the Rich Eisen Show. The Paul George acquisition, along with the free agency signing of Kawhi Leonard, that seems to be just legislated out with the new tampering rules that came down last Friday after we went off the air, that basically said if a player induces another player to ask for a trade, that's going to be viewed as tampering. Is that an accurate way to look at it?
Good luck policing it. Like, they were more open about the process publicly because this rule wasn't really in place, but I don't see how this slows that type of stuff down anyway. You're still going to have players communicating regularly with each other. They're just going to make sure either it doesn't get out, or if it does get out, they'll just deny it. And the NBA is not going to seize their cell phones. They're not going to do any type of deep investigation. The tampering rules, to me, I respect what Adam Silver is trying to do, and he's doing it at the behest of a lot of teams, largely the small market teams that feel like they're being trampled in this process. But to me, it's a lot of it's much ado about nothing until they catch somebody. And I'm not talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, talking about extending Giannis and finding them $50,000. Until we have another Joe Smith incident. Remember the Joe Smith incident in the late 90s where Joe signed a couple of short-term contracts with the Timberwolves just so he could get some years in, so he could sign a long-term contract there. It was a way to circumvent the salary cap. The NBA came down hard on them. They suspended Glenn Taylor, the owner. Kevin McHale took a leave of absence. They docked that team 4 first-round draft picks, which is crippling to a franchise. Until we see something like that happen again, teams just going to be more careful, agents will be more careful, and players simply won't give a damn because they know that they're not going to be policed at all.
But the question I have is should they try to police it? Who would be the one to get hit for it? The team that currently has the rights to the player that's induced another player to ask for a trade? Because if that's the case, then the Kawhi Leonard, Paul George situation, that's a loophole here because Kawhi was a free agent. I mean, would you suspend Kawhi Leonard for games when he signs with a new team because he's induced a trade offer from another player?
It's a good question. I don't know if you fine him. I don't know if you suspend him. I don't know what you can do, and that's why I think it's so ambiguous. I don't know that you can do a lot. That was just a unique situation. I know Doc Rivers has said that the Thunder were looking to break up their team. That's not necessarily true. I mean, the Thunder were going into that season trying to contend, but they had spoken to Paul George when he signed that extension. They effectively had told him, just like they told Russell Westbrook, that if things start to go south, we'll be accommodating and making a deal. So Paul George was armed with that knowledge when all that went down with Kawhi Leonard. So he knew that the Thunder would be amenable to doing something like this.
But Doc said, didn't he say recently that they received a list, right? That there was a list of players, right, involved in the Paul. What was this all about? That he received a list in terms of Paul George being signed? Didn't he say something along those lines?
I don't know what he said specifically. Okay. I mean, I know that when it all kind of came together, the Thunder were basically demanding everything, and they got almost everything in that deal back. So,
for more of the Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.